Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to present how to read a nautical chart. How to read a nautical chart. Nautical charts are important navigational tool even when you are familiar in a waterway. A nautical chart helps you figure out which way to go, how deep water is, and the location of harbors. You will also know about underwater obstructions that may not be visible and overhead bridges and power lines that could get in your way even if you are on onboard navigation system. Chart reading is a skill that you need to know before you going out into water. Part 1 of Part 3. Measuring a depth, measuring distance and depth. Use the scale indicator to track distance on the chart. First, scales are expressed as ratios and differ from map to map. The scale printed in the upper right corner of map will look something 1 is to 100,000. A ratio of 1 is 10,000 indicates that every 1 in 2.5 centimeters, the map equals 10,000 in 25,000 centimeters in the real world charts. With smaller scales provide an up-close view depicting more areas, detail and markers. If you're familiar with the land map, the scale works the same way. There, a harbor chart is an example of a small scale chart. Navigator needs a close view of a harbor with all obstructions and other details. Large chart shows land and waterways but few additional details. 2. Find the unit measure used to indicate water depth. Look in the upper right corner of the map. Near the scale, you will see the unit of measurement printed in bigger letters. You need to know this because charts use all sorts of different measures. Your chart could include feet, fathoms, or meters. In US, charts generally use feet or fathoms. However, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration NOAA has begun 3 Part 1 Part 3. Read the chart number figures of water's lowest depth. The black numbers printed on the chart represent water depth. Each number indicates the mean low water MLW in area. This is the average depth of water, low tide, so the most of the time the water is deeper than what you see on the chart. If you see a negative number, that is meaning the depth water in area is typically less than what is listed on the chart. 4. Multiply fathoms by 6 to measure depth by feet. Numbers written in fathoms have a unique look to them, so they are easy to spot. A fathom listing often consists of a pair of numbers. The first number indicates the number of fathoms. The second number, which will be a small subscript, is the number of additional feet. For example, a listing of 0 and 3 means a depth of 0 fathoms and 3 feet. A listing of 3 and 2 means 3 fathoms, 2 feet, or 20 feet total. 5. Multiply meter measurements by 3 to convert them to feet. For uniformity and simplicity, many modern charts use meters. This can be tough to understand if you are reused to measurements in feet or fathoms. Multiply by 3 is a quick way to get relatively accurate estimate of the water's depth. For example, multiply a listing 6 meters by 3. Estimate is a being at least 18 feet deep. The actual depth of 6 meters and 20 feet, so isn't it? Part 2 of 3. Using colors, contour lines. Follow dotted contours lines to monitor similar water depths. Contour lines are there to give you an idea on what is happening beneath the water surface. Contour lines, often the red, connect similar water depth listing. This is an effect of dividing areas into shallower and deeper waters. Used in contour lines are reference for overall water depth and area. For example, contour lines may connect points listed at 20 feet to 40 in deep. All of these points inside those lines are even shallower than that. To look for a light blue areas to identify shallow water on nautical charts. White place is normally water so that blue areas will not stand out more. Shoals and other shallow areas are blue. These are spotted to be more than 18 feet 5.5 meters deep, although this is varies from the lines. The expect 3. Finding yellow or tan areas to identify land or sandbars. Dry and land will usually be inside a contour line, but not always. Particularly attention to any. Part 3 of 3. Use the compass rose to identify the direction of traveling. Compass rose is the series of 3 circles are surrounded by numbers. The outer circle is to help you find the true north, represented by 0 star. The inner circle point to the magnetic north pole. At this time of the chart printing, you can cause a magnetic compass to navigate with the compass rose as a guide. 2. Follow the red, green, and buoys for navigational guides. These buoys mark water channels. The colored circles you will see on the chart correspond to the buoys you will see floating along the channels or travel. Travel marks are numbered, making tracking your. Red marks show the right side of the channel, while green marks should be the left side. The different colors keep you oriented no matter which way you travel. 3. Look for anchors to find anchors points of boats. The anchor is a familiar symbol of a chart showing waterways close to land. An anchor means you can let down your boats anchor safely in an area. Anchoring points may be labeled with numbers or, for example, an anchor point marked DW means deep water. Only deep water vessels will anchor there. A number of 24 stands of 24 hours, so you can only keep your boat in an area of a day at a time. 4. Note rocks and other danger circle of maps. Dangerous obstacles, rocks of shipwrecks are circled. Sometimes circles are dotted, meaning that these obstacles are generally represented by circle symbols like asterisk and plus signs. There are many different symbols they often vary between charts. Some charts use picture symbols such boats to represent partially sunken shipwreck. 5. Follow the speed and direction current tides. Current tides are changed in the time to the arrow's prediction for the way of normal water flows. Keep your travel for anything out of the ordinary. 6. Abbreviations to identify important features in area. Some common seafloor abbreviations include S for sand, M for mud, C for coral, RKY stands for rocky floor. 7. Download a separate chart of a list common symbols. Title of chart is NOS chart number 1. Symbols, abbreviation, and terms. It isn't actually a C chart but contains list of chart symbols encountered. Download it from the NOAA website. Purchase copy from a commercial chart vendor.